Welcome, this is Keita.
And I am Lorianne.
And you're listening to Anxiety is a Mother.
Welcome back to another episode of Anxiety is a Mother. This is our season 3 finale.
Yes.
I am your host, Hurricane Keita, and this is my lovely co-host.
It's Laurie Ann here, and we are ending the season off with a banger, with a Dallas legend in the building. So today we are honored to be joined by such an amazing light, philanthropist, queen of radio with over 25 years in the industry, entertaining and educating our community on a daily. So many of us wake up to start our day listening to her nationally syndicated morning show in over 70 plus markets. Please welcome Miss Dede McGuire.
Well, thank you. Hi, ladies. Thank you very much. I'm excited. I'm so excited to be here.
We met you at Cosign Mag Awards last November. We asked you to come on. You agreed. You put it on tape and you came.
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
Remember, I was crying like a little bitch.
No, I don't even remember. Honestly, I don't even remember you crying like that, but I'm going to tell you what I do remember is that I said to my husband, I was telling him how, because he went with me to Birmingham.
Right.
And I said, you know what, I have to get back here. Because he's like, why are we on this flight so early? I said, I have to get back. I said, because I met these ladies back in November. I remember when we met, and I said, I made the promise. I said, so we got to get back. I got to get back. So I made it. I'm here.
That means everything to us. Thank you.
No, you're
Thank you
welcome.
for being here, but I want to say this real quick. And I know I briefly said that at Cosign Awards, but you truly changed my life. That's why, your Black business spotlight that you guys do is really helping the community. So you had me on there. You know, I was able to talk about all my businesses, ZZs, and everything just started blowing.
Good.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
And then to have you here full circle, I started on your show.
Yes.
Now you're on my show.
Yeah, come on now. Don't you love it? Don't you love it
right now?
Do y'all realize this is our season? Everybody understands this?
Yes.
Like, it's like we're waking up, the world's waking up, we all are doing our thing, and I'm so proud. I swear, I'm so proud of us as Black people, Black women.
We're so proud of you because you're sitting up here blazing and showing us this is possible, this is attainable. You too can do it.
Okay, y'all don't say that to me no more. This is weird. I'm going to tell you what's so weird. Okay, I know this is crazy, and I know I talk a lot. But just the other day, J.J. Williamson came in because he was doing something in Killeen. I'm from Killeen, Fort Hood.
Right.
That's where I grew up most of my childhood. And he did an interview with the radio station B106 in Killeen. And the woman who was doing the interview afternoons, she said, please give this message to Dede. And I think we're going to air it tomorrow. But she was saying how much I had inspired. And I was like, what? Me? You know, I just don't even see it, right? And then Lil D and I were talking about it too. She said, I ran the board. And I remember I wanted to do a syndicated radio because of you. And this, and I'm like, what? And you guys say, I'm going, what's the world trying to say to me? what's God saying to me?
I love the humbleness. I do.
Yes,
I love it.
It's crazy that you don't see yourself that way. Like, you are truly a light in the community. You changed my life, Dede. I'm not just saying that just to hype you up, you know, but you truly did. And you do that for so many people. And, you know, matter of fact, my 7-year-old daughter is your biggest fan.
Really?
No lie. I literally feel like she helped me manifest being on your show, because a week before you guys called for me to come on your show, my daughter said, Mommy, can you show me what Dede looks like? I said, why? She said, because I only ever hear her voice.
Wow. That's
and then I get the call to be on your
Right.
show.
And then see, isn't it weird the way things work?
Yes, it is.
I'm sorry. Okay, I just had to tell you
that. So basically, you the shit, and you know it.
No.
Like, we know it. You're all that.
You know, thank you. I guess, you know, when you say the humbleness, I guess because in my mind, I'm still grinding. You know what I mean? And when you're still on the grind and you still have a goal in mind, you never feel like you're there.
Right.
I
love it.
And my mom used to always tell me this. See, I always tell people, my mom was like, I always, you know, back in the day, they asked me to write a book because I used to always say my mama, and they wanted the book to be, you know, the things she said. But she did tell me that a long time ago. She said, when you set a goal, set another one, and then another one, and then another one. She said, because at one point I did that early on in my career. I made it to what I thought was the top. And she said, I started coasting, and she was right. And she was like, no, you set another goal and another and another. And so because of it, it's very rarely do I see myself there. Do you get what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's why.
You know what? So that lets me know that you're a visionary. So you're able to see things. You're always working towards the future. But how do you ground yourself and try to stay in the moment? Because I feel that way about myself, and I live so far in the future that sometimes my now be in shambles because I'm like, but I'm going to be here, though.
Girl, my nail's in shambles right now. It is. I'm going.
So the shambles don't stop.
Oh, my God. At the same time that you guys are seeing me with the success of the show and it's growing on the personal side, I have a brother who struggles with mental illness, right? That I've been taking care of and trying to find a home, who was physically assaulted at a home. I'm dealing with that, or my mom who has health issues, So there's that balance of just when you think you can, then life reminds you that you need to stay humble because health really is wealth. You know what I mean? Mental health, physical, and I'm dealing with that and seeing it in my life over here, that it's like the celebration is that part that, the part people don't see, and making sure they're okay.
Right. Yeah. And I was going to ask you, so with such a demanding career, how do you balance it? How do you make sure you prioritize your mental health and your self-care that you need for yourself?
A glass of wine at night.
Dede.
And a CBD gummy.
Speaking of CBD, we got something for you. But
okay,
yes.
Okay.
No, but for real, because it's necessary and it's needed. Vacationing, time away with the husband, shutdown time, getting off social media, those things. God. Yeah.
That has been the biggest for me, to take a step back from social media, truly. And it wasn't even that hard, because I always say, when you really have something going on in your life, really some things that really need your attention, you won't be on there. You're not gonna see me do the TikTok dance at that point. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna have to learn that another time, because I got real stuff happening. And so I do have to get off. And there are times when I will tell my husband to get out of the house. I like to clean, like cleaning.
Oh, yeah.
Cleaning and honestly, I don't even have to have music on. Most of the time, it's not, I'm in my head, I'm thinking, but I love to clean, and I'll kick him out of the house, and I'll clean, or I'll, binge watch Bridgerton or something.
So this is my favorite segment of the show. Okay. It's called Check Your Energy. So we basically go around the room and we talk about how we feel, how your month has been, how has your week been. Lori, I'll start with you.
My energy is amazing. I feel like I'm on cloud 9 right now. Like, I'm literally sitting here listening to your voice, because we wake up, we listen to you and hear you on the radio. We're laughing at the Mad Men, and we're laughing at whatever y'all have going on, all your funny quirk kickbacks or whatever you have, and just you're here with us. You took the time to come be here with us. You didn't have to do this.
No, it was such an honor.
So I am just having a full circle moment, because we started this podcast to bring so much healing and awareness to our community about mental health. Yeah. And to have someone like you sitting here and taking the time to be a part of this with us just means the world. And I'm getting choked up. But it really means the world to us. Okay. So my energy is amazing today. Like, nothing could be wrong with me at this point. How are you feeling?
Well, my energy feels amazing. And I'm going to say it right now today. I used to want us to be the #1 mental health podcast in the world. Today, I want us to be the #1 podcast, period.
There it is.
And having moments like this, it just legitimizes that in my head and in my spirit that we are there. And I'm on cloud 32.
I love it. I love it.
Seriously. Don't talk to me.
Right. I mean, I'm the Beyonce of the...
I love it. I love it.
This is why we stay beefing.
Speaking of Beyonce, and I'm sorry, I'm going to check your energy, but I wanted to... No, actually, we're going to go ahead and check your energy.
My energy is excited, proud. My energy is humble. My energy is loud. I'll just say that. It's loud, and it's up top, and it's on fire, and it's up, because you guys' energy is so positive. You know what I mean? And I love positive energy. I love it. And isn't it crazy that you can feel energy? You can feel people's energy, and I always tell people that because, if we are spiritual beings, having a human experience, spiritual means that, we are these spirits. We're not necessarily this.
Right.
It's what's in here and our energy and our vibe and our feelings. So I love that you guys do an energy check, because I always tell people that about energy and vibes and spirit, is that somebody can walk in the room, they may not say a word, and we'll go, you feel it.
You feel it.
You feel it. Yeah. And so I love that you guys do that, because that means it's authentic. You know what I mean? When you're checking that vibe and energy, that's really what's going on, I think.
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
And Dede, you have interviewed people from Oprah, Beyonce,
forever
Jay-Z,
President Barack Obama.
Who was the most exciting interview you've ever had?
I mean, Barack Obama was like the top. I mean, I had to pinch myself. Like when I went to the White House for that, and thank God, because Doug Banks, and I give credit to people who helped me and who launched, he really did. I mean, I wouldn't even, the show that I'm doing right now, we wouldn't be in half the cities if it wasn't for Doug Banks. And so I have to give credit. But he was always very, very, he was very kind, very nice, and he couldn't go. And he said, could you go for me to the White House? And I think he was just throwing me a bone, you know, because he had been like once before, and I think he was just wanting to share the wealth. And so he was like, here you go. And I remember walking in there, and afterwards, I said I had to use the ladies' room. So they had me in it. And really what it was, I had to sit there and just kind of, because I read this book called The Power of Now. And they said you should be in the now, right? They were like, when it starts, it even tells you, you know, if you're washing your hands, you know, look down at the water hitting your hand, like really truly be in that moment. And so I had to stop. And I remember just, Woosah, you know, taking a deep breath. I sat down. They had like a little Chase lounge or something in there. You know, it's the White House, right? So they got to have that in the ladies' room. Yeah. So I sat there, and I just remember going, okay, get it together. Take pictures for your mom. Look at what he's wearing. Look at his hands and his lapel and his this, because your mom's going to, look at his haircut. Look at the texture of his hair. You know, my mom's going to ask. So I tried to, like, in that moment, get everything. And I still have the pad that I was sitting there when I sat there, because we were in a meeting too with him. And I remember writing down things about his hands and his this and that for my mom.
What was it like interviewing the Queen Beyonce?
Beyonce even performed with us. When Doug and I did a show too, we were in Houston, and we did a live show, almost like what Tom Joyner used to do, these like sky shows where they go in the cities. And I remember her sitting there drinking water with us. I have a picture, she's just sitting there while Michelle's performing and Kelly, and she was just regular, and you know, and then all of a sudden she jumped up and started performing. It was like it was weird. You know what I mean? It was like this girl turned on. Very humble, very beautiful, it was interesting too, even when she was with Destiny's Child, one of the things I remember was she was the star. You saw it, right? But when they would go into interviews, she would lean back like and let the other girls talk, you know, like to give them a chance to get some shine. And I thought that was so beautiful. She's beautiful.
How long did it take you to be so confident walking into those interviews, into those rooms with these people, or did you always know that's who you were? The
confidence came from a girlfriend of mine said something to me that her mom told her, and it stuck with me to this day. My girlfriend Nicole said her mom told her, no matter where you go, she and her sister, she would say, take your seat. No matter where you go in life, take your seat. And I understood what that meant. It's the same way with all of us. No matter where we go, whether I was in the White House or whether I was down at the bus station, you know what I mean? Or in a trap house. Wherever I went, I'm going to take my seat. I'm supposed to be there, is what that means. And I have a seat there because of who I am and who my God is and who, you know what I mean? I'm supposed to be there like they are.
So we've all heard of the Mean Girl cliques.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, do you believe the women empowerment movement is real or fake? The reason I ask that is because, you know, we see all the brunches and lunches and different things, and then we hear these stories about what goes on behind the scenes, and it's just a facade. Do you believe that it's real or fake?
I think that I don't know what some people's intentions are for it. There are some, I will just say this, there are some that say they are about empowerment, but I've yet to see them be very kind sometimes.
At your level, do you still see that? Because I'm pretty sure a lot of people put on airs in your presence.
Yeah, but I end up paying attention to the motivation behind why they're doing it. Right? To me, there are times when it's money motivated, when it's strictly money motivated, it makes me wonder if you really are about empowerment or are you about that money, right? And I think that you can get out of these empowerment seminars what you can. As long as you go there knowing what you need, you'll be okay. You get what I'm saying? Like, because nuggets can be dropped. There will be some nuggets dropped. But again, those who put them on, I always question whether or not, is it truly to empower or is it just because you wanted to make some money and fill your pockets?
And I feel like it's easy to see when it's the money motivated.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I just, you know, you can be a fan of people on these platforms and, you know, really root for them. But when you see certain things that's like, okay, this seminar for $1,500 and all you get is brunch, like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on, people. And hearing some people say, like, come on.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You know, it's very rare that I do a lot of hosting for money. It's very rare that I will ask somebody to pay me. And the reason why is I always tell people I've been beyond blessed. I mean, I have been, look, I'm going to start crying kind of about that, but I'm beyond blessed.
Yeah.
And I would rather do something for charity. You know, and normally if people offer me something, I always tell them, just donate to my charity or to another charity. But I'm just beyond blessed to have the markets that I have and, you know, to do what I do, to still do it. And at this level, no, I'm not looking for your money. I want, you know, and give it to somebody else, give it to a charity.
Yeah. So speaking of charities and organizations, I know you sit on the board of director for Women Called Moses, which is an organization that supports abuse survivors. Why is that so important for you?
I don't talk about it a lot either on the air, but you know, this is a podcast. I watched my mom be physically abused by my father and my stepfather. I mean, as a child, like it was constant. And growing up in the military, you saw a lot of it anyway with some of the soldiers that would go away, they'd come back. But my mom, it was really bad. I mean, it was bad. And I mean, I just remember one time it being so bad that the Army wanted to press charges against my stepfather.
Wow.
Because my mom wouldn't. Yeah, you know, marriages, you know, women are. So it is important because of what I witnessed as a child. And the reason why I don't talk about it a lot is that's even with my brother. You guys heard me say things here on your podcast that I won't talk about on the air because I always say this, you know, I'm not into sympathy, listeners and votes and all that kind of stuff. But also the other part of it is that's private. That's their story, not mine. My mother said that to me one time. She said, that's my story, not yours. Talk about your own story.
Right.
So I was like, well, Mom, it affects me. But I realized it does affect her. She's wanted to move on. She doesn't consider herself a victim. She doesn't like to think about it, so I don't talk about it.
So how does something like that affect you mentally? Because we all know a lot of our issues that we have today stem from our childhood trauma. So as a child witnessing that, what are the things that you've had to either work through or try to undo for your own sanity?
Well, my mom has a very bad mouth. And I do too.
We do too.
Oh my God, you talk about cussing. Oh, I had a little tears right there. Let me wipe those off. I and my husband and I, you know, both of us have paid attention to certain things. You know, he would say that his father was kind of a womanizer. And my mother had a bad mouth. And there are times when we'll have conversations where we've talked about who we didn't want to be. And if he does something, I'll say, okay, now, wait a minute now, you said, and he'll say to me, you're acting like your mom. And I'll have to check myself because I'm not wanting to disrespect him. That's not what I want. I'm not wanting to hurt his feelings or, you know what I mean? Like, so I have to pay attention to that and kind of calm down. But I also did a lot of reading. I did a lot of reading because therapy, and I hear a lot of people tell, therapy is therapy, right? But therapy can be expensive. And there's a lot of us who don't have the money. And I always tell people, you can do the work yourself too. You know, there are a lot of books, self-help books and things like that to read, and I did a lot of that. And I had to because after I found out that my father was schizophrenic, I found out about that like 20 years ago. Wow. So I have been reading about mental health, mental illness for years and read a bunch of books about it. And so I just started doing the work on myself. Yeah, I had to.
Yeah, I love that. So, and something else you said too with keeping things personal. These days with social media, people feel like they have so much access to you. And also to grow your brands nowadays, you have to be like relatable.
I know.
People have to feel like they know who you are and you have to share. And I struggle with that. Even with our podcast, I don't want to share nothing. Like, it ain't their business is how I feel.
Right.
What I want to share, if I snap a selfie or put something on my story, like you get what you get and that's it.
I agree.
So how do you balance that, keeping your personal space personal and sharing what you want to, but also still being relatable to your market?
And honestly, I'm struggling with that now because I'm seeing that is the biggest thing and the trend and the this and that. And I always tell people what you will see on my social media is my personality, but you won't see my life. You see my personality. You'll see the fun. You'll see the radio station. You'll see all those kind of things. And I also made it a point that for me in the morning, and the time will always come. Like right now, I'm being as transparent as I can with you guys, right? As I'm going to be or as I've ever been, truthfully, I'm being more transparent than ever because it's a podcast. It's we're just talking and I love it, right?
Right.
And I'm not doing it on my show or on my platform for the sake of getting or generating likes, views, what I call it, sympathy votes, sympathy, whatever it is. And I do struggle with it. But I still just say, you know what? The show that I do, it's a morning show to wake people up, to make people. You talk about energy, right? We were talking about as soon as we came in, and then you guys said we did an energy check. In the morning, for me, I want the energy to be positive and loving, and I want people to go into their jobs or whatever they're doing for their day. I set the tone. So I'm not wanting them to see me as a person who's struggling and who's, I do. I mean, I'll say certain things. I'll go, today's not a good day, y'all. I'm in a bad mood, or my husband, I got into it. But for the most part, 90% of what I'm doing on that show, or 95%, I want it to be positive. Right. I want it to be uplifting and fun. We kick your day off in the morning.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, and I felt that during COVID, during the political season that we had with Donald Trump, it was too negative.
It was.
We were all drained. Yeah. I'm not into training anybody else.
Yeah. No. Thank you for that.
So let's talk ambition. And I want you to speak to me from Dede, who was dating before her husband, this young, single, beautiful Black woman, ambition. Because I am that woman right now, and it is hard in these streets. It's almost like most of the men that I date are either intimidated by me, like they got to belittle me in some type of way. I feel like that, if I get a raise or promotion in my job before I was an entrepreneur, it would like put a damper in their day. So can you speak to that? Is that what your dating life was like?
It was really bad. I really thought I was going to end up alone. And I was okay with it, right? And let me tell you why I was okay, because I still had a full life. I had all my girlfriends. We hung out. We traveled together. I had bought my own home. You know what I mean? Like I did a lot of reading. Like I said, I had worked on myself. The real reason, though, why I wanted to be married, well, let me just put it this way. Let me tell you what really broke it down, you guys. One time I was in my house, and I remember crying in the bathroom, on the floor, crying, cussing God out, y'all. I mean, that's why, I'm humbled, and that's why I have to always check myself, because, I'm surprised God blessed me after that conversation he and I had. But I always say I had to be real with God. God knows me. He knows my heart. He knows what I'm thinking. He knows what I'm feeling. So, I'm not hiding nothing, right? So me and God got into an argument. And I was mad, and I said, why would you give me all of this and not give me somebody to share it with, right? And this is when it hit me. And he said to me, it came to me, and it was because, basically it was about greed. It was about greed, because I was wanting a guy who had this, who had this, who had this. He had to have money, and he had to have all these things. And I remember I thought to myself, and it was almost like God said to me, but I gave you everything you wanted. I gave you a house. I gave you a house with a pool in the back. It was tiny, but it didn't matter. It was cute. But he said, I gave you a house, and I gave you a house with a pool in the back, and I gave you the luxury car you wanted, and I've given you travel. What do you need that man? You don't need a man for that. So he was like, and if you're looking for a man for that, then you're being greedy. That's greed. And what does it say? It talks about greed in the Bible, right? And I'm not even a religious. Listen, I didn't grow up in the church, you guys. I was not that person, but I always read. I knew it. I would talk to my grandmother. But anyway, and it hit me in that moment that I was looking for the wrong things. And then it hit me that when you break up with somebody, you're not breaking up with them because of the car they drove or because of whatever. Sometimes you break up. What I was having problems with was integrity and honesty and being faithful and, all of those things. And so after I had that conversation with God, I started looking for a different thing, and I wrote some things down on a list, and I put it in my Bible, and attractiveness was number 7 on the list. What I messed up on was his age. I didn't know
you gotta be specific.
Yeah, you have to be specific, you guys. I ended up with a younger husband. My husband is like almost 9 years younger than me.
What's wrong with it?
Nothing, but okay, but you get what I'm saying. I was like, oh my gosh, everything that I did. I said I wanted him to be God-fearing. I wanted him to be honest, have integrity, honest, and all of those things.
Right.
He's all of those things. He just happened to be just younger.
That's okay.
Yeah.
But you got that husband.
Yeah. But you want to hear something crazy? And so that was like 11 years ago. But I also believe in vision boards, right? And so I had a vision board, and it was an old picture of Usher and his first wife or whatever, Tamika, and she was pregnant. And he was kissing her belly or something. It was like in Essence magazine. I cut it out and put it on my vision board. And then I had Eva Longoria and Tony Parker. Remember she was married to him, that basketball,
yes.
and she was both ladies I had on my vision board, and they were older than their husbands.
See, you manifested.
I did.
Manifested by accident.
With that dang, that vision board did it.
So I want to ask you, with so many of us that, and I can definitely speak for Keita and myself, looking up to you, who do you look up to?
My mom. Because everything that she's been through, and I haven't even told even all of it or the half of it,
Right.
but everything she's been through, she continues to push forward. Do you know what I mean? Like she continues to stay positive. She continues to get back up. You know what I mean? Like it's just one of those people that, and she's so inspiring to me. And the words that she has given me, you know, my mother wasn't, you know, she dropped out of school at 16 and had started having kids. But is a smart lady, went back to school and everything else. And she just continues to inspire me because she never gives up. And Tom Joyner, by the way, has always been the example. I want to own my own show like he did. I want to own my own company and show like he did.
What made you start out? Because I saw an interview where you and all your siblings were in radio, and then I think you and 3 others were actually on radio.
4 of us were on the radio.
So what made you what made that path?
All of us.
Yes.
So when we were kids, my mom used to sing a lot. She's from Seattle, and she said she went to high school with Jimi Hendrix. And so she used to do radio voice stuff in Seattle when we were kids. And so we were always like singing and dancing around the house because she was a singer and all that stuff. So we had started a group as kids, and then my brother played the bass and I would sing and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And so we were just always outgoing.
So y'all could have been the next Jackson 5.
Yeah, that's what we thought we wanted to be back then. Yeah.
Can you sing?
Not anymore.
Oh.
This voice now, I use it so much. It's like, I really have swollen vocal cords, they were telling me. I had to go I went to the doctor a couple of months ago, and they said, I really have to watch my spicy foods and
that
talking.
voice is legendary, though.
Girl.
It is. Even like when you were on the phone and hearing your voice, it's like she sounds
I
just
know,
like she's on the radio.
No way.
Oh my God. That's so cool. You guys are so wonderful.
I'm sorry, I am. You know, I don't typically get starstruck, but I'm like, oh
Really?
God, it's
Oh my
Dede.
gosh, you guys are so wonderful.
I think it's because we listen to you
Right.
so much.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's just,
Oh,
it's a
wow.
thing.
I love
Yeah.
it. This is
So
so
let's
cool.
talk business. So, you know, of course, we have this podcast. We're growing. Let's talk buying ads. What is that? What goes into that? I guess I really don't know how to word that question.
Like what, to advertise on K104? Yeah, they have a full sales department somewhere, and they will negotiate whatever rates and stuff like that. And it's real simple, and then they'll tell you what do you want in your commercial. You could write it yourself, or they'll have somebody write it. And it's real simple. I mean, really, it's...
So, and the reason I ask is because I always like to know the behind the scenes of things. I'm like, oh, okay, that's how they do. Okay, that's how we should be doing our stuff too.
Right.
You know? So that's basically what that question is.
Okay. Yeah, they're saying that now what they're getting ready to do, and what a lot of stations are, I don't know if you guys will do that on your page, but what would be cool is, and it's a good idea, is that eventually it's like you could put up there to do a 30-second spot or to be a billboard for you. This is how much it's going to cost or whatever. They're saying that right there. And then showing your numbers, who you reach and everything else and what you're
Right.
talking about. And like, to me, you guys it would be great with hospitals and things like that, counseling sessions. Counselors should really be, you know, that's who you guys should really be targeting since you're talking about mental health.
Right.
That would be it. Spas, things like that,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that helps with mental
Mental
health. And they
health.
should be, you know what I mean, sponsors on your podcast to me.
I love that. Yeah.
So why is it so important for you to spotlight Black businesses?
Because truthfully, why I always tell people the reason why I wanted to be syndicated, I watched Tom Joyner. I worked at the same building with him back in the day, and when I was on a co-host on Doug Banks' show, and I used to watch him, and I was like, wow, I just saw this Black man do so much and gives back to the community. And I also started realizing as I was going out into the community, I felt like we weren't educated about certain things. We weren't supporting each other. I just started seeing, and I remember saying, I want to be syndicated so that I can do what he did, take it to the next level too, and just educate our audience, you know. And I was, you know, of course, younger than him, so I was looking at, you know, if he's educating his audience, then my job is to educate my audience, my age group, or whoever I talk to. And I just think that we have to get into supporting each other. You know, when you start looking at how long our dollar stays in our community, it's sad, right? And I just think it's important. We gotta uplift each other. We gotta build that up. And as we move into this whole new era, I mean, I think like I said, when we were sitting here when I first came in, there's an energy around who we are as African Americans, and there's a change happening. And I think that it's important that, you know, we be a part of this change and we all encourage each other. Let's support, keep our dollars in our community.
So Dede, I want you to define success. What does that mean for you?
Oh my, success for me is changing people's lives. Educating is a success. I would think that I would be a success if I could do that.
You are doing
What?
No, I mean,
what?
I told you. Look, you
doing
guys
that.
are good. Y'all are good. You guys got me tearing up.
I mean, I know. Okay, so it's you. Be humble, but you have to hold that you are doing that.
I guess I just don't. I don't see. I told you guys what it is. I'm so
Doing
busy
it.
with this goal, and it's so much bigger. You know, I have my foundation that you know, I wanted to do more. You know, I want it to be even bigger to help out and to touch, because I often even tell my husband, you know, we don't have kids, and I always say, what is going to be our legacy? And I often tell him that it's about giving back to the kids, or whether it's giving back to our community. You know, I've got so many other goals in mind.
Yeah.
That would be, to me, the success is that there's this huge goal, and I can't speak it.
Right.
But one day you guys are going to go, oh my God, this must be what she was talking about. And it's one of those legacies that when I'm gone, people will go, wow, that's still here.
Okay, so that makes sense. I get it.
But your legacy lives on through every life that you've touched.
Yeah.
You know, my food truck is doing amazing, and I can say, you know, of course, my hard work, but just having that chance. I watched one of your other interviews. You said sometimes people just need that one shot.
They do.
They just need that one opportunity. So to have that opportunity, and now my business be able to do what it's doing, like I'm able to pass that down to my kids one day.
Oh, good.
Because I had one shot.
Well, guess what? We're going to work together. You don't even know it. We're going to work together on my foundation.
Oh, for
You know
sure.
why? Because you're going to
Whatever
have
you
your
need.
food truck is going to be parked out there.
For
We're going to have it. And that's where
sure.
everybody's going to come and do and see. And it's going to be
sure.
all women. And we're going to do whatever we, because
Yes, whatever
next
you
year we're
need.
ready. We're getting it together now.
Whatever you need.
Just even speaking to my kids and telling them before I came, like, do y'all know who we're interviewing today? And I said your name. My son, who's 19 and cares about it, he said, what?
Uh-uh.
He looked at me. I was like, yes, your mom's a big deal.
Well, first of all, Mom, you look so good. You got a
Thank
19-year-old.
you. I do. Thank you. But yeah, just that's the impact you have.
Yeah.
You know? So you coming and sitting with us is life changing. It's telling us that you're on the right path. We started this talking about it in her kitchen over wine. That was our therapy sessions. And we was like, someone needs to hear this. Let's start a podcast. We didn't know the direction. We didn't know what we were going to do, but we knew we didn't want it to be
we're
drama
not
and
professionally
mess.
trained. We
No.
know nothing about it. We don't know how to.
Good. Y'all are so good. Your questions are good. Your professionalism with everything about you guys are really on point. You're doing something really major, and I love it.
I appreciate that. So, what made you agree to be on our podcast?
I like the name.
Oh, really?
Oh,
And I met you.
we struggled over
and
this.
I remember. Hold on a second. Because when I met you, and when I saw you at the cosign event, and you were like really serious about it, and I said I told you I had marked it down when you guys had reached out, but I love the name. Anxiety is a mother. I was like, and it's so true. And you guys came up with the best, because I haven't done a podcast. I'm supposed to be starting mine coming up. I know my boss is mad at me, but I have so many things in the fire, irons in the fire. But the name is everything, they say, and you guys did it with that. You did it with that, and I love it. And I want to help you. Anything you need from me, if you need me to help you with guests or
I mean,
I got
and why
your
you?
number.
And since you asked, can we get a drop with Dede McGuire
Yes,
and
you
you listening
can.
to Anxiety
Yes.
as a Mother? That would be amazing.
But-
before we wrap,
Hey, it's Dede in the morning. Yep, and you're listening to Anxiety is a Mother, my favorite podcast.
Every day we lit.
Come on, girl.
oh, this has been everything from from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much for joining us. You could have been doing anything, having a self-care day, a massage, just chilling at home, and you came and spent it with us. So we really appreciate you. We're grateful.
Thank you so much, Dede.
No, thank you guys. Thank you.
We're so grateful.
You deserve all your flowers.
Oh,
girl.
thank you.
Yes, and we have a few for you. Not technically flowers, but gifts.
Okay, do you have your info in there so we can get you on too? Okay, good. I'm like, I love it. Okay, ladies. Yes. Okay, yeah, we're working together. I love this. So I'm really serious. I'm gonna have my girl call you with the foundation, both of you, because we're getting back and we're gearing up for 2023, and we're gonna come back full. You know, because of the COVID, we just kind of didn't do our big women's luncheon and everything. But I really want you guys there. I want you to.
I would love it.
I want to do something.
And I'm working on my public speaking, so now I'm taking engagement. So if you need me there,
Good. Okay. Good. I love it.
Again, thank you so much, Dede, for joining us today. We appreciate you. We're wrapping season 3 with a bang, and we couldn't have done it any other better way. Make sure you all stay tuned with what all is going on with us in our off season at anxietyisAmother.com. Follow us on Instagram at anxietyIsAmother, and Energies you can follow at INNER.GIES on Instagram. And
make sure you guys follow Pretty Rose. That's Pretty Rose 420 on Instagram. Make sure you follow Anxiety is the Mother, book with the Rockstar Unicorn. And Dede, where can we follow you?
Oh, you can follow me at Dede in the morning on all social media platforms. There it is.
bye. Bye.
Till season 4. See y'all next season.